Hey folks, and welcome back to West Yorkshire Retro Gamer. It's League 2 prediction time. So I'm going to have a look at who's going to compete in League 2 this coming season. And I'm going to take into consideration a few things along the way. I haven't really looked at squad depth or anything like that, so that, it's not going to be based on a vast amount of knowledge. This one, some of it might be a little bit heart over head, but we'll come up with something. It's only a bit of fun. Take this with a pinch of salt. Alright, so starting in the drop zone. A lot of people have got these for favourites, and I'm not favourites for promotion, and I'm not entirely sure why. Because they finished 19th last season. It'd be a meteoric rise if they were to get in the top two, but for me, I think they go down. MK Dons. Now joining them, this is going to be a very wild shout, but joining them is going to be Salford. Salford had a good season last season. They finished 8th. Vast improvement on MK Dons, who finished 19th with 52. Salford finished in 8th with 69. But I think both of them are due a poor season, so I think they'll go down. So, moving into the bottom half then. So MK Dons 24th, Salford 23rd. I don't think that's overly likely, but I wouldn't lose sleep if it did end up that way. I'm having a look at the 4 teams that came down from League 1. They were Crawley, Bristol, Rovers, Cambridge and Shrewsbury. None of their forms were particularly good. 2 of them didn't even get into double figure wins. Shrewsbury didn't even get double figure draws. Ouch. Bad seasons for those who dropped out. My team leads have been there, so I know how it feels. It's crap. Trust me. I feel for the fans. Relegation's horrible. Go supporting the team week in, week out, only to see the team play poorly or just get outplayed by better teams and then the drops. Not nice. But 2 teams have to go down. So there you go. The teams that went up, Oldham were one of them from National League. I think, were Barnet the other? I think Barnet ran away with it, didn't they? If memory serves me right. So, let's crack on with the bottom half of the League 2 table then. Right. I'm going to say Newport because they were pretty bad last season, only just relatively narrowly missed out on relegation, got less than 50 points, and somehow still stayed up. So I don't think they're finishing any higher than 22nd again. So that's that really. In terms of the gulf between conference and, well, I still call it the conference. The gulf between conference and League 2, is it particularly big? Maybe arguably not. But I will say maybe Oldham. I think they'll survive. But it'll be a relegation scrap. So, who else at that point? So you got 24th, 23rd, 22nd, 21st. Who's going to finish 20th? Let's have a look here. There were some pretty naff records, weren't there, last season? I'll say Accrington. I'll say they go up a place. They'll keep a relatively steady ship there, I think. It's so hard to predict, isn't it, really? Tranmere have kind of stabilised themselves a little. They got 51 points last season. It was a minus 20 goal difference. That was pretty bad, isn't it? So I could argue that Tranmere Rovers, I assume that's their fancy badge now. I'm still used to their previous badge, but it does say kind of like TR on it, so I'll assume that that's their badge. I'm not keen on that though. What have they done to their badge? Wow. But yeah, I'll say Tranmere in, is that 19th? 19th for Tranmere. Now then. There was a little bit of a gap that kind of formed after that. Little one. About 5 points. And that was between Harrogate and Gillingham. And then you had Barrow on 59 as well. So do I think there's going to be much change between all of those? I don't see it really. However, what I'll do is I will say Gillingham next, and then I'll say Barrow. I'm going to give the Yorkshire club a couple of places up. Why not? They're all still within that little bracket. So then you add Cheltenham and Fleetwood. Now, I'm not just simply going to be putting every single team in the order that they finished last season. That'd be foolish. I know I'm going into this with very little knowledge, but that's the lazy option. So I'm going to try and look at this a little subjectively. What a bad season from Bromley, was it? Pretty good season, in fairness. 17 wins, 15 draws, 14 losses, scored 64, conceded 59, but it's a plus 5 goal difference with 66 points. And they had a 4-point gap over Swindon, who drew more than they won. They drew more than they lost as well. Scored 71, but conceded 63. That's pretty bad defensively. Still ended up with a bigger goal difference than Bromley. Scoring 71. That's very good. If only Swindon could tighten up that defence. I'm just having a look through the League 2 table from last season. I ain't bad up front, is it that? See, Crewe were very mid-table with what they did. 15, 17, 14, but they scored 49 and conceded 48 with a plus 1 goal difference of 62 points. Finished the season badly. Last 5 games, they only got a draw. With that kind of record, it means they're hard to beat, I would say. Colchester, what did they do? They went 16, 19, 11, scoring 52, conceding 47. See, 47 conceded is not terrible. They needed more goals though. 67 points. Grimsby. They didn't draw many. They won 20 but lost 18. With a -6 goal difference and all. How did they master that? They scored 61, which is reasonable. Right, how many have we got here now? Where are we up to? So 24th, 23rd, 22nd, 21st, 20th, 19th, 18th, 17th, 16th, 15th. 15th place. Like, Fleetwood and Cheltenham. Oh, it's hard. Like Fleetwood, they scored 60 and conceded 60 and got 60 points. 15 wins, 15 draws with 16 losses. What a crazy record that is. But Cheltenham conceded 70 goals. Oh. I mean, Cheltenham's got to be next then, haven't they? They're conceding that much. That's bad. Sorry. Like, you can't concede 70 goals in a season and expect to do well. Right, that, yeah. -10 goal difference and all, it's not great. So yeah, that makes sense to me. I like that. I like how it ended for Fleetwood. What a, like, little unlucky not to finish slightly higher with that, you know. I would say with that. I might, you know what, I might bump Fleetwood up a couple of places here. Certainly top half. They finished 14th last season, so you know what, I'm going to bump them up a bit. It's just a very, like, it's very rare that you get that kind of record. And I kind of like what they did there. I like what they did. Now those teams that came down from League One, I can't see a good season for Shrewsbury. They were terrible in League One. Bottom of the league, 8 wins, 9 draws, 29 losses, 41 goals scored, and a whopping 79 conceded, which wasn't the worst actually. Crawley were worse. But -38 and 33 points. Shrewsbury aren't going to be in for a good season, are they? I can't see it. I can't see it. I'm sorry. So, as it stands then, 14th. I need one more team, and then I'm going to put Shrewsbury 13th. So who else was poor? 9, 11, 26 for Cambridge. 12, 7, 27. Didn't draw many Bristol, did they? Bristol Rovers. And Crawley actually, despite conceding 83 goals, they scored 57. They were capable of scoring, but the defence was leaky as hell. But it is a division above. Did they have any momentum? Did any of these bottom four have any momentum? Crawley actually won the last 3 games and still went down. Ouch. Well, won 3 of the last 5. I've got to give Crawley some credit there in that sense. They obviously, it must have been earlier on in the season when they conceded all them goals. So I can't put them there. No, it's going to have to be one of the others. Let's have a look. Barnet. I think they've only just gone up from National. So I'm going to say that Barnet's going to do okay. They'll be safe enough. So I'll put Barnet there. I think that's Barnet's badge. It's hard to tell. And then I'm going to put Shrewsbury. I can find them. There they are. Yeah. I'm not too unhappy with that. That should complete the bottom half. So 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And I'm happy with that order. Into the top half then. I'm going to say Fleetwood are going to be 12th. I just like what they did with that record last season. It's so middly. You couldn't put it higher or lower. So yeah, I'm bumping Fleetwood up a bit with that. Lovely record last season. You could argue they conceded too many goals, but they levelled it out with scoring just as many and finishing on 60 points. It's an amazing record. I've never said I don't like it. I don't think I've seen a team finish on that before. So even, so nice and smooth across the board. So yeah, deservedly for me, Fleetwood are propped up into the top half. Now these teams that have come down, you see, Crawley weren't terrible. Looking at that. So I think Crawley are going to be a little higher. The other two I'm not so sure. Bristol Rovers, Cambridge United. Very different records really. Cambridge only got 38 points. I mean that's poor, isn't it really? So I've probably got to put them next. They conceded 73 goals for Christ's sake. So I'll put Cambridge 11th. I think a bit of a rebuild's needed there by the looks of things, based on last season's record at least. And can I really put Bristol Rovers any higher than that? You know, they didn't draw many, but they lost 27 games, conceding 76, minus 32 goal difference. It's poor. I've got to go Bristol Rovers. Yeah, there we go. So how many top half? Because obviously League Two's got a bit of a funny structure. So there's in the top half section there's only 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 5. Only need 2 more. Only need 2 more. Okay. So do Crawley improve enough to be any threat to the playoff? Or is that going to be left to some of these others? We identified that Bromley had a very good season last season. 17, 15, 14, scoring 64. They conceded quite a bit. But still ended up with a pretty solid record, as did Colchester. They only lost 11. That's not too shabby, is it? Colchester, they were hard to beat. Got a lot of draws. So Colchester and Bromley have to be in the mix. Grimsby, 20 wins, but they did lose 18 times and got 9th. I think I'm going to go Grimsby next, you know. You can't lose 18 times. I mean, they won 20 times, which again is obviously quite a bit more as well, but you've got to convert some of those losses into draws. So yeah, I'm going to say a very similar season again for Grimsby. You see, Swindon was a little bit more balanced, even though they got less points. Swindon was a bit more balanced, even though they finished 12th. 15, 17, 14, scored 71. They were good scorers. They were good scorers, very good scorers actually. But again, conceded way too many. But they did have a +8. They finished with +8 and only lost one of their final 5 games of the season. Do Swindon sneak into the playoff this time? I'm going to give them benefit of the doubt, perhaps. but I'm running out of teams, in a sense. Because there's only one more that's going to lose out on missing out on the playoff. So I have to decide on who that's going to be now. Chesterfield got 19, 13, 14. Scoring 73. Good goal difference actually. Plus 19, 70 points scored. Unbeaten in the final 5 games, Chesterfield. It's good. It is good. This is hard. Crewe finished quite low down actually. You know what? They were quite hard to beat, Crewe, weren't they? But I mean, I think it's got to be Crewe next, hasn't it? They had a very bad run, didn't win any of the last 5 games, so yeah, Crewe. Where are they going to get the momentum? Then again, you could argue you can argue one or two of the others. Where's Crawley then? So what are we actually left with here? We're left with Swindon, Bromley, Colchester, Chesterfield, Notts County, Crawley and Walsall. I think I've decided who my top 2 is going to be. So now it's a case of the order of the playoffs. So with that, I'm going to say, I think I know who my top bunch are going to be. So I'm going to say Swindon in the bottom playoff place. Then Bromley. And then Chesterfield. And then Crawley. I think. Hold on. Hold it. No, it's 3 up, isn't it? It's 3 up. I'd only chosen 2 of me 3 going up. Now, it's 69-11. Colchester didn't lose that many games. If Chesterfield's in there, Chesterfield are ahead of Colchester in the table last season. Yeah, I'm gonna. Right, so I'm gonna just adjust things slightly here. Yeah, I'll go with that. I'm okay with that because they all kind of bracketed at the bottom of the top half last season, but I think they'll all improve. So Swindon, Bromley and Colchester, they were 12th, 11th and 10th. This time I'm going to put them in the playoff places, along with Chesterfield, who finished 7th. So they were only just one little bit above as well, actually. And I'm going to say Grimsby lose out. So then that means the top bunch for next season. I'm going to go in 3rd place. I'm going to say it's the team that came down, Crawley. I'm going to say that it's Walsall in 2nd, who finished 4th last season. And I'm going to say that Notts County are going to win League Two. There we go, folks. I'm okay with all that, you know. I'm alright with that. Notts County finished 6th. Alright, so you could argue maybe, you know, maybe Walsall's in a better position. What did they get? 21 wins, 14 draws, 11 losses. County 20, 12, 14. Not a massive, vast difference there, is there really? Walsall a bit better. I mean, we've got to give them that. 68, 49, 74, 54. So Notts County with a better defence, Walsall with a better attack. I don't know. Could go either way, that. And as I say, Crawley finished last season by the looks of it. You know, they got 3 wins and a draw in the last 5 games. You know, it's a bit of reasonable momentum going into, you know, yeah, you're getting relegated, but you weren't in the worst of form. So I don't think it's unrealistic. You know, they'll have kept some League One players. So I don't think it's unrealistic to think that Crawley could finish 3rd with that. So yeah, I've mixed things up a little. But, you know, considering I've got no knowledge on League Two, I don't think it's a bad shout overall. I think I might have 1 or 2, maybe quite a bit out. But that's the beauty of predicting when you don't really know much about the league you're predicting. So, yeah, you know what? I'm alright with it. The five teams that are finishing top half that are missing out, we've got Crewe, who finished 13th, so that's not terribly unrealistic. Grimsby finished 9th, that's realistic enough then. Bristol Rovers came down from League One. Cambridge came down from League One. Fleetwood, with that lovely smooth record, we're 14th, and I don't think it's unrealistic that if they can do something similar again, they just squeeze into the top half. So I think that's pretty reasonable there. As I mentioned with the playoff teams, it's kind of bumping up the ones that finished 12th, 11th, 10th and 7th, bumping them right up. Why the hell not? If they're building season upon season, that has to be their aspiration. So why not? And then bottom half, you know, it's some of them are teams that are just destined to be in the bottom half of League Two. You know, like your Harrogate, you know, who came up from the National League a few seasons ago and have established themselves there. You know, Barnet's only just gone up, but Barnet and Oldham have only just gone up, but there's potential infrastructure there that, you know, you've got is it Boundary Park, Oldham? If I remember right, you know, they're a former Premier League team if you go back to the 90s. You know, massive changes since, obviously. Massive ownership changes and all that kind of thing, and it's, I think, am I right in saying that Oldham's one of the highest up, on top of a hill somewhere or something? Or am I getting that mixed up with Scotland at Rochdale? I'm not sure. Either way, my brain ain't working right now, so it's 3 in the morning. Shouldn't really be admitting that, but there we go. But yeah, you know, I mean, Shrewsbury finished bottom last season in League One with a whimper, so it's not unrealistic to think that they might finish in the bottom half. And yeah, you know, some of those other teams were bottom half anyway. And with the bottom 2, as I say, maybe a little bit of heart over head with that one. A lot of people tipping MK Dons for promotion, and they'd probably join them with Salford, I would think, maybe. But I wouldn't be unhappy if both of those got relegated. So that's just my take. But there we go. People will dislike me for saying that, but I don't care. You know, if you don't like it, go watch a different prediction. But yeah, there we go, folks. I'll leave it at that. I'm quite happy with my selections there. I could be completely wrong with a lot of them. But if we don't have a go, we don't find out, do we? So yeah, put your 1 to 24s down in the comments below, folks. See how yours compare to mine. You'll probably have more knowledge on League 2 than what I do. It's not hard, because I've got 0 knowledge on League 2. This is just for a bit of fun. Yeah, I'll be interested to see what happens with League 2. I think I might get 1 or 2 right. I don't think they'll all be wrong. And those that are wrong might only be wrong by 1 or 2 places, perhaps. And, you know, maybe the outsiders looking in know something about MK Dons. They're predicting the Dons to finish in the top 3. But it's a massive rise if they do. They finished 19th this season just gone. Is it realistic to think that they could go from 19th to the top 3? I'm not seeing it, but a lot of people seem to be seeing it, so, you know, fair enough, I guess. As I say, 2 of the top 3 might be Salford and MK Dons for all I know. I might be talking crackers here, but we'll see. So yeah, put your 1 to 24 in the comments down below, folks. Don't be disheartened if I've got you relegated. Don't be too pleased if I've got you promoted. You know, I don't have any knowledge of League 2 at the moment. I might do if Halifax get promoted. I'll start having a bit of an invested interest in League 2 at that point, because Halifax are my hometown team. But yeah, there we go, folks. So yeah, put your 1 to 24 for League 2 down in the comments below. Plenty of transfers that could happen between clubs between now and then, and that'll obviously help or hinder some of these teams, and you never know what might happen. But in the meantime, big thank you for watching. I will record a League 1 prediction tomorrow, all being well. If not tomorrow, within the next couple of days. And then we've got the Championship and Premier League predictions coming up a little bit closer to the time that the seasons start. But they're all coming up very, very soon. I have a bit more knowledge on the Championship and on the Premier League due to my team Leeds United, so a little bit more work will go into those two, just on the basis that I've already got the knowledge up here. I don't need to do too much research on it. But with League, with the National League, League 2 and League 1, I am a bit, unfortunately. So this is just a bit more, just for a bit of fun, just to create a bit of debate, shall we say. National League, obviously Halifax Town are in there. I'd love to see Halifax get promoted to League 2. I really believe they deserve to get there, but they've got to earn it. But in terms of club size, I don't think they'll be out of place if they did get promoted. It gives them a chance then to get some better players in. So hopefully Lakeland, the new manager, can get a tune out of the new squad, and yeah, because Halifax have been regularly getting in the playoffs, so they keep getting knocked out in the eliminator. So they need to go better this time. But as far as League 2 is concerned, that's the aspiration for Halifax to get into it. The teams that are in it for this season, this is where I think they may finish. So with all that in mind, folks, do please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and predictions for the other divisions coming up in the next few days. Maybe within a week or so with Championship and Premier League, depending on when they're starting. In the meantime, have a great night, folks. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.